It's time for another edition of Coach's Corner with women's basketball coach Matilda Mossman.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Coach's Corner with head coach Matilda Mossman. I'm Bruce Howard, joined by the head women's basketball coach at the University of Tulsa. And this is our final show, Coach. And what's really gratifying is that your team finished strongly. Now, UConn notwithstanding, obviously, but
right.
You finished the season pretty well.
We did. You take away the UConn game. Just take that away and look at, we went to UConn and lost at Temple. They're the two top teams in the league. We're on the road for 5 days. We come back home and we play Central Florida, who finishes fourth in the league, wins 20 games, and plays a 6-point game with Temple. So they're greatly improved from the first time that we played them. And then we had USF. We had Houston, which we can't figure Houston out this year, obviously.
Right.
Lost to them both times. And then we have South Florida, team that's number 3 in the conference. And so that's a 6-game streak where you're playing really good teams and you just can't seem to get over the hump. And then we have that off week where we've got a chance just to take some time off, rest your minds, rest your bodies. And we come back and we go to Cincinnati, shoot the ball really well, win at Cincinnati, the only time we played them all year, ruin their senior day. And then first game of the conference tournament, we have Memphis, who we beat by 5 here earlier in the year. But now in the conference tournament, we win again. So now we've won 2 in a row. And we're kind of got some momentum. We're on a roll. And unfortunately, in our conference, your reward for that is you get to play the number 1 team in the country. So, you end your season, but it's not like in 2013 when we were the 6th seed and we can go win 4 games in a row and win the tournament and go to the NCAAs. That was possible in Conference USA. But when you're in the same league as UConn, you can't. It's hard to go into a tournament thinking, okay, we're going to win this thing and go to the NCAA tournament. So I'm just proud of the way our guys finished the year. And again, looking at Cincinnati, looking at Memphis, both games on the road. Just excited that we finished the year in that way.
Yeah, and you advance into the quarterfinal round with that win over Memphis. It was the first game of the tournament, and you can maybe kind of paint the picture a little bit. You're in Uncasville, Connecticut, which obviously is a hotbed of women's basketball with UConn and all their great success. But they really put on a nice tournament, don't they?
They really do. As tough as it is for us to get there, from Tulsa, Oklahoma, I mean, it takes all day to get there. So. But the reward is you're staying in a facility that's all inclusive. The hotel, the arena, shopping, food, and then you have the built-in casino with the smoke and all that. So, but it's nice that everything, once the bus pulls you up to the hotel, you check in and you don't go outside again. And it's a good thing because at one point it was 27 degrees up there. But so you don't have to go out until you leave to go back to the airport. So just the venue itself is nice. But then when you go into the arena, on the first day, there's 3 games, and none of them involve Connecticut. But yet there's still 2,000 or 3,000 people there supporting your team, supporting the tournament. And that's why it's so appealing to have the tournament there, because those people in the Connecticut area, they really, really support it. And they'll cheer for your team. That we had a situation against UConn where we made a really nice play. I think it was in transition. They applauded. They like good basketball. They appreciate good basketball. So from that standpoint, it's a great environment for the players. It's something that they'll treasure, forever, getting to go play in the conference tournament and having that kind of energy in the building. And
the good thing is it was not a one and done. I mean, it's almost like if you play the first game in the tournament and you lose, it's almost like you weren't there.
Yeah, exactly.
So you open up the tournament against, the first game is against Memphis, and your young ladies played really well.
We did. We ended up as the 9 seed, and Memphis ended up tied for 5th. So they ended up, because of the tiebreaker system, it's the 8-9 game. But and Memphis has a really good player in Cheyenne Creighton. And we were able to totally take her out of the game. She was averaging a double-double. She finishes with 4 points and 3 rebounds on the night. And it's because of the way our guys did their job defensively. We kept the ball out of her hands. And then when she did catch it, we were doubling from the weak side, making it really hard for her to get anything going to the basket. And so I think really that took them out of everything that they wanted to do.
And you had nice balance. Ashley Hughes led with 12 points. You had, Erica had 11. Kendra and Elliott had 9. Shook Dixon had 9. So, I mean, you spread it out. It was a really nice effort.
Yeah, I mean, everybody got involved. And, we talk about the value of those seniors, Jess Ponganis and Ashley Hughes. Ashley Hughes finishes her career with a bang. Just it's almost like she did everything she needed to do for 4 years to prepare herself for the end of her career, and she did it in a really good way. Just played really well in the whole tournament. And
defensively, you played well. As you mentioned, you kind of locked down their best player. You take an early lead. You lose that early lead in the third quarter, fourth quarter. I guess it was in the fourth quarter they tied it, but you had enough at the end to go ahead and inch it back out, right? Yeah,
and I think that kind of shows the growth of our program over the course of the year, because early in the season we had double-digit leads. Teams would come back and we would lose in the fourth quarter. Against Memphis, we built up a 14-point lead in the second quarter, and then with 4:50 to go in the fourth quarter, they tie the game. And so that's that point where, okay, what's this team going to do? Are we going to fold and do what we did early in the year, or can we hang on to this? And we came right back down the floor. Liesl Spurl hits a 3, which is only the second 3 of the entire game that we make. Next possession, Ebony Parker hits a 2 from the corner, and then very next possession, Liesl Spurl hits a follow putback to give us a 7-point lead, and we never looked back from there.
And the Hurricane winning to face UConn, the #1 team in the nation. And obviously we've kind of talked about the atmosphere and how good UConn is. What were the positives you took out of the game? Now, obviously early, 8-7, you're right in there, but then UConn just kind of does what UConn does, right?
Well, I know Gino made a comment after our game, and even to me in the line, about how well our kids shot the ball. Well, we only shot 38%, but against UConn, teams don't shoot that well.
Right.
And I think that's the thing you take away. We were trying to shorten the possessions or lengthen the possessions on our end, trying to take away the total number of possessions of the game. But our guys shoot 38%, and UConn's used to holding teams, to 32% or below. So to me, that spoke well of our patience and our ability to get by a really tough defensive team and still be able to score. I mean, we scored layups against them. They're not a team that fouls. I think they committed, somebody told me 6 fouls for the game. That's not a lot. We committed 18, but and the other thing is, we talk about UConn and what great shooters they are, what great passers they are, how urgent they play. They go to the free throw line against us and go 20 for 20. And then the very next game, they make 8 in a row before they finally miss a free throw in the second game. So just a team that does everything really, really well.
One area that we didn't talk about that was successful in the tournament, you out-rebound Memphis by 18, and you get 11 offensive rebounds against UConn.
Yeah, I mean, a team that didn't rebound very well at the beginning of the year, and then go into the tournament, that was an outstanding effort against Memphis. And like I said, we took away Cheyenne Creighton. She's averaging 10 rebounds a game. She only gets 3 against us. So again, another positive, from our team as we go through the season, and being able to finish the way we did and shore up some things. Rebounding had been a problem. Well, in the last 5 games of the year, rebounding wasn't as big of a problem. Defensive transition during the year was a problem. Toward the end, defensive transition wasn't as big a problem. So our team grew. There's no question. Our team grew. Our team got better. Team got experience, and that bodes well going into next year.
All right, in a moment, we'll be back. Look to the future of University of Tulsa women's basketball with head coach Matilda Mossman.
We are American. We are the spark that ignites. Dazzling, brilliant, intense. We are plugged in with the volume turned up all the way. Because on this court, on any given night, the energy of 5 becomes the power of 1. That's power. We are power.
We welcome you back to Coach's Corner with head coach Matilda Mossman. And as you look to the future, of course, you had such a young team. Future's bright, isn't it?
It is. We look at postseason honors. We had 2 players make the all-freshman team, Kendra Elliott and Shook Dixon. We had a third freshman, Alexis Galden, who was freshman of the week 2 different times. And if she doesn't get hurt kind of in the middle part, maybe she makes that all freshman team as well, but certainly was in the running. And then either Shug or Kendrian could quite possibly have been freshman of the year, but I think they probably canceled each other out. Houston had 2 really good freshmen, and I think they probably canceled each other out. Some coaches might vote for Ken, some coaches might vote for Shug, and so they cancel each other out. But certainly a good showing for those 2 freshmen, and hopefully that gives them a hunger going into next year, because now they know what to expect. Going into this year, they had no idea. Their most previous reference was high school basketball, and now they have a whole different point of reference.
And of course, you'll add more players. It's always a work in progress, isn't it? As you continue to recruit and that sort of thing. So next year will be a totally different chemistry. But what you do know is you've got some young players that have gotten some great experience this year.
Absolutely. You lose Jess Ponganis and Ashley Hughes. You lose their leadership, you lose their work ethic, you lose their character. But then you add Rebecca Lescay, a guard out of Frisco, Texas. You add Kristen Vorens, a 3-4 player out of Arkansas. So those 2 will fill the void. Those 2 left. We still got another spot that we may try to fill in a gap. But returning all those freshmen who will be sophomores, our sophomore class becomes juniors, and then our senior class will be Erica Wakefield and Liesl Spurl. That's not a bad senior class. So, we're excited about what's happening right now. Excited about what the future holds.
All right, Coach. Congratulations on the strong finish. We look forward to seeing your team in the fall.
All right, thank you.
Head coach Matilda Mossman, and that is our final Coach's Corner of the season.